Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I hope and wish all of you and your families and your loved ones will be doing fine and enjoying good health. Uh, as I mentioned earlier about your upcoming final term examination in our previous lectures, I hope all of you would be doing great in that regard and you will be preparing well for your final term examination. So, yes, in our previous lecture, we concluded our discussion about the Chinese diplomatic discourse or the Chinese public diplomacy, and we explored different aspects of Chinese diplomatic discourse. And now we will start having discussion about the US public diplomacy or the US diplomatic discourse. And before getting into the history of US public diplomacy and the themes and approaches to public diplomacy employed by the US, we would like to have a brief overview of public diplomacy and its various dimensions, uh, and we will also try to come up with the key questions that are um, usually asked about the public diplomacy or the diplomatic discourse. So, we first of all, in our today's lecture, we would present some of the key questions regarding public diplomacy in general and regarding the US public diplomacy in particular. And in the next phase of our lecture, we will come up with a comprehensive definition of public diplomacy, and we will explore some of the general themes or the objectives of public diplomacy, and then we will try to cover three different dimensions given by Joseph Nye about public diplomacy. So that's how we will conclude our today's discussion, and uh, I would try to explain these things with the examples as well. So, without wasting further time, we will start our today's discussion about US public diplomacy. So, first of all, as I mentioned a few moments ago, that we will try to discuss some of the key questions that are associated with the business of public diplomacy, and these are the questions that require extensive research to be made. And if some of you will take some of these questions for your research assignment for this course, that will be an excellent choice, I would say. So these are the questions you can take for your research assignments as well, and I would highly encourage if some of you will attempt to make a research assignment about these questions. So that will add to your knowledge as well. And if you require any assistance from me regarding that, I would be quite happy to do that. So the about the multiplicity of questions that are usually asked about public diplomacy, the first one that comes into mind is what is public diplomacy, how it is defined by different countries, and what is its key purpose, like what is the key objective behind public diplomacy, and is it simply propaganda or something else. So this is the first inquiry that is usually required from the students of international relations or students of diplomacy in particular, when we uh, start having discussion about public diplomacy. In our previous lectures, we already have discussed a lot about whether it's simply a propaganda or something else. So, a research into this very question will definitely improve your knowledge about public diplomacy, and in order to understand the practices employed by different countries in the context of public diplomacy or the diplomatic discourses, it is imperative, it is necessary for all the students of politics to get to know about what is public diplomacy and what is its key objective. So the next question, which is there in front of us, is that to what extent can the US government or other democracies really influence the opinion of foreign publics with diplomacy? So, in our previous discussion about diplomacy, we have defined diplomacy as that a country's government tries to influence the opinion of the foreign public. So it is not only the foreign public opinion is tried to influence in public diplomacy, but also the domestic public as well. But most commonly, it is referred to influence the opinion of foreign public with public diplomacy. And what are the tools that are utilized by different countries to pursue the objectives of public diplomacy? And here we will try to explore, and we can make a research that what tools or what instruments are being utilized by the Americans to achieve the goals of public diplomacy in particular and the foreign policy in general. So that is another very significant question which requires extensive research to be made, because without the sufficient knowledge of the different tools or the different instruments which are utilized to get the objectives, get the goals of the foreign policy in public diplomacy, it is highly difficult for the scholars to observe the or analyze the practices of diplomatic discourse or public diplomacy launched by the various countries around the world. The next question, which requires some attention, is that how does that help better protect the nation's interest? That means, like, how does the public diplomacy better protects the nation's interest? There are various types of diplomacy, as we have earlier discussed a lot about all the various types of public diplomacy. Sorry, the diplomacy and why public diplomacy is good at protecting the nation's interest. That also requires some extensive research to be made. The next part of this very query is if we tell America's story, if we clearly explain US policies, society, and values, will our relations improve with other people and other governments? While talking about the Chinese diplomatic discourse, we talked about the term telling China stories well. So that is something which is, taken from the U.S. Diplomatic discourse because this is the domain where U.S. get involved with earlier than the Chinese. So by telling America's stories, well, that will that clearly help improve relations with other governments or people around the world or not? That is another very significant questions that requires to be explored or studied. The next question is information more important than cultural programming? Means when we talk about cultural programming, by that we mean the exchange programs such as this study exchange programs which are there between Pakistan and China and the US and Pakistan, and there are so many other programs which are like being observed in the world nowadays. So the question is whether just the information is significant or more valuable than the cultural programming. That is another significant question which we would try to address in our discussion about public diplomacy. The next question is, should the US government be funding cultural diplomacy at all? If so, how much of the taxpayers' money should be spent on it? So that is one other important question, that if the government should spare some funding for cultural diplomacy, then if that is the case, how much of the taxpayers' money should be spent on the you know cultural diplomacy initiatives? Another question is, what share of public diplomacy should be carried out by foundations, private citizens, educational institutions, and other non-governmental partners? So we already have discussed a lot about the actors involved in diplomacy in the modern era and in the ancient era. So, as we know that in the modern times, both state and non-state actors highly collaborate to operate as far as the diplomacy is concerned. Even some influential people are inducted in the business of diplomacy all around the world by states. So, what share of public diplomacy, what percentage of public diplomacy should be done by the foundations, mm, predominantly by the non-state actors such as private citizens, educational institutions, both public and private, and other non-governmental partners? Another key question that requires attention is, does public diplomacy, both the information and cultural sides, as we just mentioned in the first and the second question of this slide, on this slide, that does public diplomacy belong both the information and cultural sides under the US state government, or should an independent agency like the United States Information Agency brought back to manage these be brought back to manage these activities? So we will explore the whole mechanism of the US State Department, like how they conduct the business of diplomacy, and there is a whole mechanism which we will try to highlight in our upcoming discussion, and there you will get to know about what are the departments, what are the agencies that are involved in the business of conducting diplomacy or foreign policy in general. So, is it the responsibility of the US State Department only to manage the affairs of diplomacy, especially public diplomacy, or the USAID or the United States Information Agency should be brought back to this very business of public diplomacy? So that is another very significant question that is required to be explored regarding the context of the US diplomatic discourse or US diplomatic public diplomacy. Another question here is, in its public diplomacy efforts, should the U.S. government aim for the elite in foreign countries or the average citizens or broad masses? So that is another very significant question. As we just mentioned earlier, that the actors, both the state and non-state actors are involved in the business of public diplomacy. So here the question is like whether the influential elites should be focused in the overseas countries to um, conduct the business of public diplomacy, or to inspire or influence the public opinion in other countries, or the average citizens or the broad masses of that country which are stationed in overseas countries, they should be targeted to get the objectives of public diplomacy of a particular country. Another question is, how do you coordinate the public diplomacy of various government agencies, Muslim state, USA, peace corporations, US military, etc.? How do you also involve academia, cultural institutions, NGOs, business, etc.? So that is a very crucial question here, that we already have discussed the various actors involved in the business of public diplomacy, and here the question arises, like how do both the public and private enterprises, or how do both the state and non-state actors coordinate with each other to achieve the objectives of public diplomacy of a particular country? That is a very uh, crucial question, and it is of immense value as far as the efficiency of the public diplomacy is concerned. Now, the question we are going to discuss now is of immense significance in the business of diplomacy nowadays. That is, how can hard and soft power complement each other? That how do the elements of soft and hard power are utilized in a complementary way by the states to get the objectives of the foreign policy? Because that is something which is imperative for states to follow, mm, such as to complement the elements of hard and soft power. Now, like this is something which is a very recent innovation in the sphere of the diplomacy in general and public diplomacy in particular, that how does new technology impact the conduct of public diplomacy. We are familiar with the revolution in the field of technology, such as the introduction of so many social medias in the contemporary world. So how does these channels of communication or information impact the business of or the mechanism of public diplomacy? That is another very significant question to be researched about. And the last question here, which we will like to discuss, that how do we measure the effectiveness of public diplomacy? What are the metrics? What are the standards, or what are the, we can say, the signs through which we can determine the effectiveness or efficiency of public diplomacy, whether public diplomacy is successful or not, or how efficient it is? What are the metrics, what are the standards to check with that? So these are the various questions which require extensive research to be made, and I believe that I try to discuss all these questions because I think like some mental gymnastic is very much required to thoroughly understand the conduct of public diplomacy, and it is imperative for us to have to keep thinking about all these various questions while having discussion about the various elements of the US public diplomacy. So these questions will ultimately help us to analyze the different aspects of US public diplomacy when we have a thorough discussion about the US public diplomacy in our upcoming lectures. So that is one of the reasons that I brought all these questions in our today's discussion, and I hope these questions will help all of you to have better understanding or to analyze the business of the conduct of US diplomacy when we will have further discussions into the US public diplomacy in our upcoming lectures. So, and again, I would like if some of you will take some of these questions for your research assignments, and if any student attempts any of these questions, those students will be given some extra weightage in the reward, and that is because we can say that it is a sort of temptation which is being given to you to attempt any of these questions. So I will conclude or I'll stop my today's discussion here, and in our next lecture we will start having a discussion about the definition and the key aims and the three dimensions of public diplomacy of in general, and the public diplomacy of the United States in particular. And if we will have some time, we will try to have a look at some part of the history of the US public diplomacy, and then we will continue with the various aspects of US public diplomacy or US diplomatic discourse in the upcoming lectures. So I hope all of you have understood all these everything which we have discussed today in our lecture. And if you have any queries regarding anything regarding our today's discussion, or if you have any queries regarding your assignment for this semester, Please feel free to send me your queries through WhatsApp group, and I would be quite happy to answer your queries. So wish you all the best. Stay safe and healthy. See you next week, inshallah. Allah Hafiz.